Nothing happens by chance. Nothing that has come to you was in vain. Every experience in your life, whether joyful or painful, has a purpose, even if you can't yet understand it. The truth is, life possesses an intelligence that our logic cannot fully grasp. Sometimes it destroys what feels comfortable, only to reveal what is truly essential. Other times it delays everything, not to punish you, but to protect you from something you weren't ready to face. And when that time finally comes, you'll realize nothing was frozen. You were being shaped. If this lesson makes sense to you, comment here with intention. I trust the timing of my life. Let's begin. 1. Each step traces a new path. Have you ever noticed how the most important moments in your life didn't seem significant at the time? Sometimes it was a simple choice, an ordinary conversation, a yes or no spoken on impulse, and only years later did you realize that was where everything changed. Life works exactly like this, quietly, subtly, in the details. While you wait for grand gestures, life moves behind the scenes. It doesn't announce its movements. It builds them through repetition, presence, and silent consistency. Marcus Aurelius knew this well. He wrote, "What is under your control? Your opinions, your intentions, your desires, and your actions. That is what shapes your life. You cannot control the world, but you can always control how you walk upon it." Imagine life as a path of wet sand. With every step, you leave a footprint, and sooner or later, you will have to walk back over the same terrain. If you walked with awareness, your footprints are firm. They guide you. But if you walk distracted, those same marks become traps. Most people live on autopilot, repeating habits, complaining about the same things, blaming the same past, all while waiting for change without changing anything. They want different results, but repeat the same patterns. But the Stoics understood, life does not respond to wishes, it responds to practice. Do you want more peace? Then practice silence. Want more clarity? Begin putting order into your days. Want greater strength? Start acting despite fear. Because discipline isn't born from motivation, it's born from daily decisions. And each small decision is a seed planted in the soil of your future. The mind distracted seeks shortcuts. The awakened mind chooses coherence. And so, a single act of discipline has more power over your destiny than 1,000 vague intentions. The universe doesn't listen to promises. It responds to what you repeat. Every time you do what is right, even when tired, even when no one sees, you send a signal to existence. I am ready for something greater, and the universe listens. Because what you cultivate inside, your focus, your courage, your integrity, becomes the frequency you emit to the world, and that frequency attracts what resonates with it. When you stop chasing external validation and start living with inner alignment, your energy changes. You stop begging for attention and begin radiating calm. You stop seeking approval and start building respect. You stop running after love and start embodying it. And in that shift, life begins to respond. People, opportunities, solutions. They appear not because you screamed, but because you became someone worth attracting. So today, don't just dream of transformation. Live it. Act with consciousness. Choose with clarity. Walk with purpose. Because the only way to build a new life is to lay down new footprints, one deliberate step at a time. Write in the comments, "Today I walk with intention." Because the moment you realize you are shaping your own path, you stop being carried along and become the author of your story. 2. Repetition is the language of transformation. There are no magical formulas, only repetition. You don't become strong by doing something once. You become strong by doing it again and again. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul is dyed with the color of its thoughts." This means your life is painted by what you repeat, not by what you wish for. If you repeat doubt, you create a dark canvas. If you repeat courage, you paint with light. And the longer you repeat a thought, the deeper it stains your identity. Think of it like a river carving stone. No single drop could make a mark, but thousands, millions, billions of drops, falling in the same place, slowly shape a canyon. Your daily choices are those drops. Each time you choose patience over anger, gratitude over complaint, action over delay, you are slowly reshaping who you are. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to us that hurts, it's our judgment about it." And that judgment is repeated until it becomes belief. If you tell yourself, "I can't," every day, eventually your brain believes it. It stops looking for possibilities and starts looking for excuses. But if you replace that voice with, "I'm still learning, I can handle this, I've survived worse," then your mind shifts. It stops being a battlefield and becomes a workshop. You begin to see challenges as training grounds, failure as feedback, rejection as redirection, and every obstacle becomes material for growth. The key insight is this: you're not weak, you're just repeating the wrong story. Change the narrative, and your reality will follow. Because life doesn't respond to what you say, it responds to what you repeat. So ask yourself, what am I repeating every day? Is it building me or breaking me? Because whatever you feed grows, and what you water every morning is what blooms by nightfall. Choose wisely. 3. Pain is not the enemy. It's a messenger. We often treat pain as punishment, something to be avoided at all costs. But the Stoics saw it differently. Pain is not a sign of failure, it's a call from within. It says, something needs your attention. It might be a relationship that drains you, an ambition you've buried, a boundary you keep betraying. Pain doesn't attack, it reveals. It shows you the cracks in your foundation before the whole structure collapses. And when you learn to read it, not fight it, pain transforms from enemy to teacher. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is one of the most powerful truths in Stoicism. The very thing blocking your path is the path itself. The loss that devastates you may be the beginning of a wiser life. The job you lost may open space for a truer vocation. The heartbreak that shattered you may teach you how to love better. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, just as labor strengthens the body." And that's exactly it. Without resistance, there is no growth. Without friction, there is no strength. And without pain, there is no evolution. So next time you feel pain rising, don't run, breathe, observe, ask, what is this trying to show me? Don't interpret it as personal failure, interpret it as direction, because sometimes the universe must break your plans to save you from yourself. It removes comfort to awaken your courage. It delays success to prepare you for the responsibility it carries. It takes away to make space for what you were never meant to hold. And it creates emptiness, not to destroy you, but to invite something new. So honor your pain, not by dwelling in it, but by listening, because pain, when met with wisdom, doesn't paralyze, it awakens. And every awakening brings you closer to the person you're becoming. 4. You attract what vibrates within you. Have you ever wondered why certain patterns keep repeating in your life? People who hurt you in the same way, situations that drain your energy, obstacles that feel familiar, though the details change. Nothing about this is coincidence. Before it becomes reality, life is frequency. You don't attract what you say you want, you attract what you vibrate. And that vibration is born from what you carry inside, your beliefs, your fears, your expectations, your unresolved wounds. If behind your desire lies fear, the energy you emit is scarcity. If behind your request is comparison, your frequency is lack. If behind your dream is insecurity, the result you draw is instability. But if behind your intention is confidence, your frequency is abundance. If your desire is rooted in purpose, you attract opportunity. If your goal is aligned with truth, you find allies. Epictetus said, "It is not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them." And that applies to attraction too. Your judgment, your internal interpretation, shapes your energetic tone. It determines what kind of experiences, people, and opportunities resonate with you. Think of a metaphor from Sufi tradition. A fly and a bee cross the same garden. The fly finds dirt everywhere and lands only on decay. The bee finds flowers and collects nectar from every bloom. The garden is identical. The difference is not in the world, it's in what each creature seeks. Your life works the same way. Whoever focuses on lack attracts more lack. Whoever focuses on growth draws growth toward them. And the more consistent your inner state, the stronger your magnetic field. But that requires honesty. Ask yourself, what do I really believe deep down? What am I holding on to that blocks the new? Because you cannot fill a cup that remains turned upside down. You cannot receive abundance if your soul vibrates with fear. The solution is realignment. Shift your internal frequency from, "I don't deserve this," to, "I am becoming worthy." From, "Why does this always happen to me?" to, "What is this teaching me?" This isn't naive positivity, it's conscious reprogramming. And when you change your inner vibration, your outer world follows. Opportunities appear, people change, circumstances shift, not because the universe suddenly became generous, but because you finally became receptive. So write in the comments, "I change my energy because I know what I vibrate, I attract," because true transformation doesn't begin with fixing the outside, it begins with tuning the inside. 5. Resistance is just unprocessed growth. Resistance isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of evolution. It appears precisely when you're about to grow, like a muscle burning during exercise, not because it's failing, but because it's adapting. Yet many people misinterpret resistance as proof they should stop. They think, if it were meant to be, it wouldn't be this hard. But the Stoics knew, the harder the fire, the sharper the blade. Difficulty isn't a barrier, it's the forge. And every time you push forward despite resistance, you prove you're capable of carrying more. Nietzsche said, "What doesn't kill me makes me stronger." And that's not just poetic, it's psychological law. Your brain learns best through struggle. Your character is built through discomfort. Your resilience is forged in moments when quitting would have been easier. But you stayed. So when resistance appears, don't retreat. Pause. Breathe. Ask, am I afraid of the challenge or afraid of the version of myself that this challenge demands? Because growth doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes you. It asks you to become bigger, braver, wiser. And that process isn't gentle, it's necessary. Marcus Aurelius faced wars, betrayals, plagues, and still wrote, "Welcome every obstacle, for it trains the soul." He didn't welcome suffering, he welcomed the strength it brought. And so should you. Next time you feel resistance, don't see it as a wall, see it as a door to a stronger self, a door to a calmer mind, a door to a more authentic life. Walk through it, not with arrogance, but with humility and courage. Because the person who avoids resistance stays small, the one who faces it grows. 6. Silence reveals. What noise hides. We spend our lives speaking, but rarely listening. To others, yes, but almost never to ourselves. In the middle of noise, phones, work, conversations, endless tasks, we forget the most important voice, our own. And in that silence, we lose touch with our deepest truths. We ignore what hurts. We bury what matters. We confuse urgency with importance. But the Stoics trained themselves in silence, not as escape, but as strategy. Marcus Aurelius rose early, lit his lamp and wrote, not to publish, but to clarify his mind. He asked himself, what is essential today? What is under my control? Why am I agitated? These questions were his ritual, his return to center, and that is exactly what you need. Take a few minutes each day, in the morning or at night, to sit in silence. Turn off your phone, close your eyes, breathe, listen. Ask, what do I need to release? What decision have I postponed? What emotion have I ignored? Don't try to fix everything, just observe. Observation is the first step toward healing. Suppression is the longest road to pain. The more you avoid your inner world, the louder it speaks, through anxiety, fatigue, insomnia, frustration. But when you finally pause, when you finally look, you discover something beautiful. Your soul wasn't broken. It was waiting for you to come home, waiting for you to care, waiting for you to say, I hear you, I see you, I'm here. And when you give that attention, the answers begin to rise. Not in shouts, but in whispers, because truth doesn't shout, it waits. It waits for the silence to be deep enough. So commit to this. Create sacred space for silence. Protect it fiercely. Use it to reflect, to heal, to remember. Because only in silence can you hear the quiet wisdom that guides your life. Write in the comments, I listen to my inner voice, because it holds the compass to my true north. Because the most important journey isn't outward, it's inward. And the farther you go within, the lighter your steps become. 7. Let go so the new can enter. Two bodies cannot occupy the same space. We learned that in physics, but few apply it to the soul. Nothing new can enter if the old still fills the room. No fresh air can come in if the windows are sealed shut. And yet, so many live trying to add new dreams, while refusing to let go of old pain, outdated goals, toxic relationships, and limiting beliefs. They wonder why nothing changes, but the answer is simple: you're full, and fullness rejects the new. The Stoics called this creative destruction. Some things must fall, so others can rise. Some doors must close, so new ones can open. Some versions of you must die, so the next one can live. Epictetus said, "Demand not that events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do. Then you will be happy." This isn't resignation, it's liberation. It's understanding that clinging to what already passed only weighs you down. A ship cannot sail forward if it's dragging anchors from the past, and neither can you. So ask yourself, what am I holding on to that no longer serves me? Is it a grudge? A dream that died? A belief that limits you? Whatever it is, release it. Not with hatred, but with gratitude. Thank it for what it taught you, then let it go. Because letting go isn't losing, it's making space. It's saying, I am ready for what's next. And when you do, you'll notice. The new doesn't arrive with fanfare. It arrives quietly, in a glance, in a feeling, in a sudden idea. Because the universe respects readiness and only gives to those who have made room. So if this lesson spoke to you, write in the comments, I release the old, so the new can breathe. Because only when you clear the stage can the next act begin. The present is where power lives. The past is gone. The future hasn't arrived. Only the present breathes. Yet so many live trapped between yesterday and tomorrow. They relive old wounds. They project future disasters. They miss the now, where life actually happens. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The present is sufficient. The well-trained mind knows how to inhabit it." And that is the core of Stoic wisdom. Power isn't found in wishing. It's found in acting, in the here, in the now, in the next small thing you can do. How many times have you delayed what matters and because you were mentally elsewhere? You eat dinner, but don't taste it. You speak, but aren't truly listening. You rest, but carry the weight of what hasn't been done. Presence is the antidote. When you pay attention, really pay attention, the world sharpens. You feel the warmth of the coffee. You hear the silence between words. You see the light in someone's eyes, and in that moment, life returns. You stop surviving and start living. But presence isn't passive, it's active. It's choosing to close the mental tabs. It's stopping the cycle of worry. It's breathing deeply instead of rushing. It's deciding, I will not waste this moment. Because the quality of your life is measured by the quality of your attention, second by second. And what you give your attention to grows. So train yourself to be here. Start with 5 seconds, then 10, then a minute. Soon you'll find yourself pausing, not out of obligation, but because you genuinely want to be present. And when that happens, everything changes. Your relationships deepen. Your work gains meaning. Your soul regains strength. Because life doesn't exist in memory or anticipation. It exists in participation. And only those who participate truly live. So write in the comments, I am here, 100% present. Because the moment you decide to inhabit the now, you reclaim your life. 9. Failure is a sacred mirror. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the path, and it's one of the most honest teachers you'll ever have, because failure doesn't lie. It reflects your effort, your preparation, your commitment, with brutal clarity. Marcus Aurelius said, "Loss is not more than change, and change is the nature of life." And that's the secret. Failure isn't an end, it's a transformation. It's not a verdict, it's a mirror that shows you what you haven't prepared, where you acted from ego, not truth, when you betrayed your own values. And that reflection, harsh as it may be, is invaluable, because it reveals what needs to evolve. Now, imagine two people facing the same failure. One says, "I'm not good enough. This proves I shouldn't have tried." The other says, "This showed me what I need to improve. I'm grateful, and I'll keep going." Same event. Two completely different outcomes. The difference? One reacted with despair, the other with wisdom. The Stoics didn't fear failure. They studied it. They knew every fall was a lesson disguised as pain. And Elizabeth Gilbert wrote, "Failing at something you love can be the fastest way to rediscover why you started. That's the gift. When you fail in something meaningful, you're forced to confront your motives. Are you doing it for applause, for security, or for the joy of creation? Failure strips away pretense and leaves only truth. So when you fall, don't hide. Look in the mirror. Say, "Thank you for showing me what I couldn't see." Then correct, adjust, return. Because the true measure of a human being is not how high they rise, but how they rise after falling. And if this lesson touched you, write in the comments, "I honor my failures because they shape me." Because only those who dare to fall can truly grow. 10. The fire that shapes you. There's a curious truth about pain. It doesn't come to destroy you, it comes to refine you. Think of a sword being forged. The blacksmith places the metal in fire. He hammers it, he cools it, he repeats. And with each strike, the steel becomes stronger, more resilient, more precise. It's not the heat alone that shapes it. It's the combination of fire, force, and repetition. So too with you. Life is your blacksmith, and every difficult day is a hammer blow. Every rejection, fire. Every loss, immersion in cold water. Every betrayal, a test of loyalty. And when you endure it, not just survive but learn, you emerge sharper, not unscathed, but strengthened. The Stoics didn't seek to avoid pain. They sought to use it. They understood that strength isn't born in comfort, it's born in friction. As Nietzsche said, out of chaos, stars are born. And so are great souls. So when hardship comes, don't curse it, greet it, ask, what part of me needs to be remade? Then surrender to the process, because you are not being punished, you are being polished, and the final form won't be revealed until the last strike. So trust the hand that shapes you, even if it burns, even if it breaks, even if it seems too much. Because the world doesn't need another smooth pebble, it needs a sword that can cut through darkness. And swords are not made in peace, they're made in war. Write in the comments, I trust the fire, because I know it's shaping me. Because the greatest strength isn't the absence of pain, it's mastery over it. 11. You are being prepared, not forgotten. Have you ever felt like you're stuck, like time passes, but you remain in the same place, like everyone else is moving, and you're just watching? It's easy to think, life forgot me. I'm invisible. Nothing good ever comes my way. But the Stoics would say, you are not forgotten. You are being prepared. Just as winter prepares the ground for spring, your current season may be one of unseen cultivation. You think nothing is happening, but beneath the surface, roots are growing. You feel abandoned, but you're being readied for what you cannot yet carry. Marcus Aurelius wrote, receive without arrogance, leave without attachment. That is the essence of wisdom toward time. And that's the key. Acceptance isn't giving up, it's trusting the process. Letting go isn't defeat, it's faith. And waiting isn't stagnation, it's construction. Think of a tree. In summer, it's green, full, admired. In autumn, it sheds its leaves. In winter, it looks dead. But beneath the surface, its roots grow deeper. It's not dying, it's preparing. And when spring returns, it blooms stronger than before. That's you. What feels like dormancy may be development. What seems like delay may be divine timing. And what appears as abandonment may simply be the universe creating space, so you can arrive as the person you were meant to be. So if you're in a quiet season, don't panic. Trust the soil, honor the pause, protect your energy, because your harvest is coming. And when it arrives, you'll be ready. Write in the comments, I am not forgotten, I am being prepared. Because the only thing worse than waiting is rushing into something you weren't ready to sustain. 12. The greatest lesson is learned in silence. After every storm, there is silence. After every battle, stillness. After every victory, peace. And in that silence, the deepest lessons are learned. Not in triumph, but in exhaustion. Not in applause, but in solitude. Not in motion, but in pause. The Stoics didn't speak from loud platforms. They spoke from private journals, from quiet mornings, from nights of reflection. Because wisdom isn't born in noise, it's born in silence. And that's where you must go. Not to escape life, but to return to yourself. After all, the most important question isn't, what will the world say about me? It's, what will I say to myself when no one is watching? Will you feel pride for staying loyal to your values, or regret for betraying yourself? The greatest lesson isn't taught by a master, it's taught by your own conscience. It's in the quiet realization, I stopped running, I faced the pain, I chose to stay, even when I wanted to quit. That's when transformation occurs, not in the spotlight, in the shadows, not in a speech, in a breath, not in a title, in a decision, and that decision, repeated in silence, becomes your legacy. So don't rush for recognition, stay in the quiet, continue in obscurity, keep your word, even when it costs you, because greatness doesn't need witnesses, it needs consistency, and consistency is the quietest form of courage. So write in the comments, I am learning in silence, because that is where wisdom is born. Because the world doesn't need to know your journey, but you do. And the one who walks in silence walks with power. Final reflection. Trust the hidden design. Everything happens for a reason, not because life is perfect, but because it is wise. It breaks your plans to rebuild your heart. It delays your dreams to prepare your character. It takes away to teach you gratitude. It sends pain to awaken compassion. Nothing is wasted. Every tear waters a future flower. Every mistake carves a path to wisdom. Every loss clears space for a deeper gain. So stop asking, why me, and start asking, what for? Because the universe doesn't speak in commands, it speaks in consequences. It rewards attention, it honors consistency, it respects inner work. And when you finally align with it, the pieces start to fit. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You stopped resisting. You began receiving. You stopped fighting time and started flowing with it. And in that harmony you discovered the reason was never outside, it was inside you all along. You were the student, you were the seeker, you were the one who needed to grow, and now you are the one who understands. So breathe, be patient, keep walking, because everything happens for a reason, and that reason is your evolution.